Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, so we are back for another Should You Guys Summon. So this time around we have our contestant G-3 Gundam. So first of all, let's kind of take a look at the animation because I didn't think I started that off last time around. So we have a double bazooka type style EXQ. It's not bad, it looks pretty cool, right, with that close-up shot. I definitely love it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about the EXQ animation. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some of the kind of like the analytical aspect of this unit. So first of all, this unit is a blue element unit, and this one is a bombardment unit. So it's going to be on that back row, kind of more like a long range type unit. So you guys have noticed as for the last three banner releases, as far as the standard goes, they have been blue elements. So we had the current still up and running right now, the Hakashiki, and then the other one being the Saicom Zaku. So I don't know if blue unit really needs that many help, honestly. I feel like we need more purples and then a yellow, which we have not gotten any new updates with them. Like that's kind of like where they at, man. Where kind of start, you gotta start dropping them. But as anyways, this unit specifically, how do we rate this unit? I'm just gonna say, even before watching the whole video, I'm just gonna let you guys know that the G3 may not be the best unit to grab, honestly, because this unit is fairly old. If you take a look at the JP release, this unit, I want to say, came out a little bit like 3 months after the game launch. I want to say somewhere around the January to February timeline, which is it speaks a lot. Okay, as far as S Gundam, which is going to be a direct comparison, that we will take a look at the G3 to the S Gundam. S Gundam was actually a unit that was released 2022. So for whatever reason, when they released the global version, they inserted a few newer releases in the game, so it kind of smoothed things out a little bit, right? So that's why when I picked Eskana for my pick ticket, the Eskana has been one of the more dominant unit to this day, because there is no checks on Eskana. There's pretty much nothing that can really touch the Eskana, you know, in a sense, unless you just really put Eskandam in harm's way, then you get destroyed, right? But G3 on the other hand just has a lot of handicaps that kind of, you know, negate how good it can be. So let's kind of get started. I say the value between both the Eskandam and then the G3 is really the same. The only main noticeable difference would be the HP, this one being at 43, while 43k, while the S Gundam at max out level 100 custom 10 is at 50k. So that's really the only difference. And then some minor differences is the crit value. The base crit value is lower on the is lower than S Gundam, while the increased crit is higher. So there's kind of like a trade-off, but it's not like a really significant gap. Things you will start to get noticed. I'm not going to talk about the like the main stuff yet. As far as the actual power wise on the weapon, is actually relatively similar, but I think S Gundam has a bit of an advantage as far as power goes. The main important thing, the accuracy value. The S Gundam is at a 105, and then the G3 is at a 100. So there's going to be a little bit of a discrepancy right there. So making the accuracy a main focal point, because if you're long range, you are a ballistic projectile. The accuracy is a very crucial thing to be able to land, because if you miss any shot, you're losing DPS, and that's not good for a unit like this caliber, being a, you know, predominantly you know, focus being damage dealing. So that's the only drawbacks, right? And then we get to this EXQ, the Hyper Bazooka X2 level 5. So kind of keep that in mind, this is at max level 5. If you initially pull a copy of the G3, you'll be at without any of these bars, so damage wise it's going to be a little bit lower. So that's fine. I think the attack, whatever it's doing, is pretty good. The problem I have with this is, or I guess the main drawbacks of this unit, you actually takes 15% of health when you execute the EX skill. So every time you pump out the EX skill, you are inflicting yourself with 15% of your HP. So to effectively use this unit, if you do really want to use it, I suggest you guys to either equipment wise demodule, pack some modules that will increase your health so you're not at the brink of dying. That's probably the first and foremost. Secondly, bring a healer. As of right now, Global does not really have a lot of good options as far as a team healing. Until we have that, I feel like the G3 is going to be on that edge of like, you probably die earlier on after you execute EXQ, or not even before that. Maybe you die because you were on low fat already, and then you get attacked with that 15% and you just die. So there are a lot of instances where I feel like the G3 is just really vulnerable. So that's the problem already. Okay, I cannot express that more now because this is a problem. It's a huge problem having that liability. So S Gundam does not have any of that. S Gundam actually increases the crit. So crit rate up to 50%, starting out at 34%. So there's kind of a trade-off already, right? So let's kind of talk about the Transcendent skill. So Transcendent skill already gives you that 537%. That is actually not that bad. So if you guys do need to go, like if you guys ask me, oh, how many copies should I pull, for example, at least you try to get this portion of it, because this is like, if you're gonna make this like your main DPS, for example, get the most out of it, because you are already at a disadvantage by inflicting yourself. So please try to get at least like the first level done, so you guys can get the free Transcendent skill, so you guys don't have to worry about that for the time being. The second line, so how the Transcendent skill works, you will not get this immediately. The higher percentage is gonna gradually increases the percentage. So I think by the time you maybe get to level 2 or 3, that's when you get this third skill, and then probably at level 5, that's when you get the remaining one. So that's how it generally works. But if you do at least get the level 1, I feel like it could make it could definitely make a difference. At least it's making the G3 a little bit more worthwhile. Skill 1, let's see what's going on. So yes, and ready, see, initially you're not able to pull that off because you do need to fall below that 70% HP bar. But after you do fall below that, you do have a projectile and damage increase, so that's really nice. Skill 2, you do unlock the strong attack Hyper Bazooka X2. This one is going to be on a double HP restriction. First one at 85, you increase your projectile damage by 18% and then up to 22% when you are 70% and below. So that's not bad. This one is simply just gated towards a HP restriction. But then again, this is going to be a very contradicting thing. So you want yourself to be taking damage so you can benefit that, but what will be the outcome, right? You have costs and effects. Costs, you take some damage, and then effects, you get more damage. But what is the consequences? You presumably may die. So I think in contents like arena specifically, you might just straight up die because you have this really negative aspect of the EXK effects. I feel like in any longer type battle, it may be okay. You might take a little bit more hit, and then you wait until one of your ally heals you. So within that gap, you might dash out a lot of damage, and then, you know, damage wise it may cool down just a little bit because you're max out HP and whatnot. But if you are talking about consistently being able to dash out high damage, this may be a problem if you pack yourself with a healer, because you are at times fluctuating back and forth at 100% HP, then back down to 85 or even a little bit lower. So I feel like those are something I do want to express and how I'm seeing it. I never personally use this myself. I'm just kind of looking at it based on what the kid is doing and how it could be a little bit better, how to really function it. So that's how I'm seeing it. But I think that's pretty much it. There's not much it. It's pretty basic kit. Pretty much just, like I said again, main DPS material, but you self-inflict. So that's the biggest red flag right here. If it does not have that, I mean, like, sure, why not? This may be a competitive unit to the S Gundam. So but should you guys summon, if you guys do have S Gundam, I don't recommend you guys summoning on it because S Gundam is just far more superior. But if you guys are not able to pull the S Gundam and you guys do need a stronger option, probably the G3 would be a good option. But there are just going to be a few things you do want to kind of keep that in mind. First of all, the HP restriction, or the base HP is low, so you might opt for a HP module, or because of a lower accuracy value, you might want to use the increased accuracy instead. So however you feel comfortable, however your team is set up to be, that's probably a good option. Normally speaking, if this is a main DPS, I'll definitely slap in the damage dealing modules, but with given how this unit is, I don't really feel comfortable unless you dip into the unit enhancement, which I feel like early game right now is not too accessible. It's still manageable, but not where you can fully upgrade the unit. So that's just kind of my take on it at the moment. So that's that. But Amuro Ray, on the other hand, he is good. Okay, if you don't summon for G3, try, because I feel like Amuro Ray is a very future-proof pilot. First of all, he is going to be boosting blue elements, and then secondary one is boosting bombardment. So these two combined, all right, these two combined is dashing out over 100% range sense. So that is pretty much increasing your range damage. That's pretty good. But a little bit of a caveat, you do have to fall below 80%, so take it as you will, right? But it's still really good. I feel like 80%, normally speaking, if you are not self-inflicting, it's kind of manageable. All right, it's not terrible, but it's still all right. But man, look at 5 effects, right? Is that 5 effects? That is crazy. Increases another 38% range sense when you have protag or units, which is pretty much a lot of units can satisfy that. So without shadow of a doubt, this is good. Gundam type accuracy, we need that. Hello. Yeah, we definitely need that. 1 year war, another, so up to 20% accuracy, so you love to see that. And then an additional 44% to your range sense when HP is 40 or 80% below. That's to protag, right? And then white mobile suit, when HP is 80%, then you have another 44%. So there are a lot of strong percentage added together. I think if you add everything together, don't you have roughly about 200% range sense, given you have all the conditions fulfilled? And that is a lot. That speaks a lot, because there are a lot of units that will fall within this category. Protag, Gundam type, prototype, white mobile suit. That's a lot, and that's a really future proof for any range like oriented. That's gonna be really good. So I feel like even if you don't go for the G3, Amuro is gonna be a good option. So if you feel like you need a good pilot, for example, for your S Gundam, it's good. Now, not even for S Gundam, any future blue element, back row, bombardment type unit, this is gonna be a very nice pilot to have. So I definitely recommend it. But G3, probably not. Okay, pilot wise, definitely go for it. But I think other than that, that's pretty much what I have for you guys. You guys can definitely let me know as far as your experience. If you guys did summon onto G3, how is G3 treating you? Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know in the comment section below, so you can enlighten some other UC enjoy as well.